So last time we sort of introduced this idea, this mentality, right, that the police are sort of like this kind of aggressive, kind of governmental force. They're agents of social control, and they're often used to investigate crimes. And so there's a lot of restrictions that are put in place, especially when it comes to searches and seizures, right? So we know that we'll talk about some basic stuff, right? So we know that they have to collect evidence, and that may be investigating suspects, that may be arresting people who come ahead of them, maybe like all these different things, right? And typically, what we expect them to do are to seek warrants when they're trying to get information. So what this warrant, is kind of like made up of, right, is that, usually what ends up happening is that after some investigation, whether through observations, whether through someone who knew something, whether through a tip, anonymous or otherwise, right, that there is probable cause established. Now, what this basically means is that, we have like a good idea about something, right? So, we'll call the good idea, either a crime occurred, or that you witnessed a crime, something, or that this person or place or thing is somehow affiliated with a criminal syndicate, or that you have, there could be like criminal contraband that are going to be here, right? And so what ends up happening is that when we have like these warrants that come out, right, they're usually going to be made to arrest someone. So let's say you didn't pay a speeding ticket and you didn't show up for court because you forgot about it or you thought it was dumb or whatever, right? They can issue a warrant for you to come seize you and take you. They have probable cause that you probably sped, and given that you did not show up for court, that is a violation of the law itself. And so that would constitute, we're probably sure that you committed a crime as well. A different aspect could be if there was, a search or seizure. And this could, pop up in cases of, let's say, that you were a drug dealer, or maybe they were monitoring like internet sites and, found out someone was downloading child pornography. So they had good reason to suspect that there was like a hard drive containing child pornography or something like that, right? And so these warrants are put into place, and they're supposed to be given out by an impartial judge. So someone, who really isn't, really invested in the outcome, right? They listen to the cases and facts to, of what the police are bringing up, whether or not that someone is going to, they're not just like swooping in, right? Like they have like an actual, like pretty good idea of what's happening with a crime. The other part that's also required, right, is that there has to be a lot of information and, that's called a particularity requirement, right? So, for example, right, I think Dave Chappelle has like this joke from like years ago, you can probably find it on YouTube, where he talks about like listening to like a beat radio where someone is saying, calling all cars, be on the lookout for, a man between 5 foot tall and 6 foot 8. He's a dark complexion and, he is male, right? And the thing is like those requirements aren't very specific. They're not very particular. I mean, that is a huge range of people, if you think about it, right? So what like an arrest warrant, came if we pick on me, right? It's gonna be, this person is, above 6 feet tall. I'm 6'2" 3/4 inches. I thought I was 6'3" for the longest time. Found out I was living a lie. Brown hair, blue eyes, light complexion, right, or something like that, and is known to be found at XYZ places, right? Could be one indication, right? Anything that can give really specific, detailed information to make sure that someone is selecting me. If it's an instance of like a property, then this could be a circumstance where maybe they find a home, but you can't just say, yeah, we just want to search this home, right? Like, we're just gonna knock at these doors. We picked, 105 Elm Street, it's the pink house with the stucco and the turquoise shutters. and we're just going to like search it, because of whatever. What has to happen is that police have to be very specific in what they're looking for. So if it's something, if we think about our child pornography, it's this computer, we suspect it's on a hard drive, on some computer equipment, this is what we're looking for. If someone said there were drugs inside, right? We're looking for drug paraphernalia, like heroin bags, like, or whatever, right? If it's a weapons enclosure, something that's going in, right? So for police